Hey everybody, this is Chris at Zenarch Reptiles. Thank you for joining me once again. Anyways guys, we're kind of in a crisis right now and there's lots of things going on. Reptile shows are being closed down. Definitely hurting the reptile community, but now it's time to bond together and help each other out and not badmouth and just show love to one another and kind of stand up for each other. This is kind of a scary time, but I know in my heart it's going to get better and we'll be back to normal. So just stick together. Don't jump ship. People are afraid that the reptile craze is over and they're going to start jumping ship, which is crazy because no matter if this never bounces back, I'm going to breed reptiles because I love it. And also don't stop buying reptiles. The world's not going to end. Make sure you have food, water, and things like that, and your necessities. But I still plan on buying snakes. I just honestly know that I can't spend as much as I thought. Like say a week ago or so, I had planned on spending more, but right now I'm going to hold on to some of that money just to make sure my animals are taken care of. Just going to be a little more cautious, but I'm still buying snakes, still buying stuff that I need. So that needs to be said, I thought. Also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell also. What that notification bell does for you is it keeps you in the loop of all my upcoming videos. When I have one released, it'll say, hey, this guy's got a video out, so you check it out. Also, hit that like button. What that does for me, it kind of helps along my YouTube endeavors. So if you guys get anything from these videos to help you out, that's a way you can say thank you by hitting that like button. So today, I'm going to talk about some things that will cut the cost of your breeding projects, and also it can also help you make more money when you're breeding ball pythons. And let's start with first of all, the biggest thing that I found that I made a mistake on, and this will really help you out. So you haven't bought any snakes at all right now, and you're planning on starting a brand new ball python business, or you're a hobby. You need to decide what morph you're planning on breeding before you buy any snakes. That's one of the things that most people mess up. So say I want to do pied ultra male, which I'm working towards right now. I do have pied and I have ultra male. I'm trying to get them together. Right now I'm kind of buying anything with pied or ultra male. I just picked one up from Aussie. But so that's what you want to do. You want to make pied and ultra male together. So you need to buy snakes that align with that project. So you go to this show and they have this really cool looking GHI clown that you like, well, that's amazing. Well, the problem is it's real easy to get off task and buy that snake. And I've done it before. I've actually bought snakes that I bought because I thought they looked cool, and I ended up having to selling them because they had nothing to do with anything I'm breeding. I've done that, so I just like, well, it doesn't fit with any of my breeding projects, so I have to get rid of it. So I can tell you right now from past experience, and when you're first starting out, definitely find out, make a what you want to do, and buy to accommodate your projects. Also, if it was me, I'd have two projects. I'd have a co-dom and a dominant project, and also some recessive projects. And the reason why I do that is because it's easier to hit the co-doms early on to get you some money to go into your your recessives, which take longer and more time. Okay, also I'll give you another one here is when you're first starting out, don't buy males. I know a lot of people that buy males. I personally got lucky on this one. I did not buy any males at all, but I know people that had like 10-15 males when they first started out, and I mean, you have nothing to breed these two. First of all, you bought this male and you're feeding it, so you're wasting all that money in food. Also, maybe like my females let me ready for 3 years. Males can be grown out really quick. They don't have to be near as big as females to breed. To me, like around 500 grams is a magic number for males. That don't mean it's always going to happen, but I mean that's usually when they start breeding for me. I know a guy, he's actually a big breeder that keeps all his males smaller so he can keep them in the smaller racks, because after they get about 500 grams, you don't have to feed them all the time. You can feed them like every other week or every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks, just to keep them at a smaller size. I mean, giving food every week is more something we think we have to do. In the wild, they don't eat that much. Me, I still feed them once a week, but that's just me personally. But I don't have a lot of males, and you know, I'm keeping very few compared to my females. So definitely that's a big thing that'll save you money, because you're wasting all that time feeding that male. And you know, about 2 years down the road, so when your female's, you know, getting close to being ready, you can buy a male right then. And you know, that male, say you bought a clown leopard and you wanted to breed it. Well, maybe 2 years from down the road, that clown leopard might be $1,000 cheaper, or you know, $500 cheaper. So you waste all that money, and also you fed that thing for 2 years, and you didn't get nothing from it. So that's a big one there. Knock on wood, I'm glad I didn't do that. Also, breeding your own rats really saves you lots of money. And I know you might want to do frozen thawed. You know, there is some places like Big Cheese and Rodent Pro and different places that can get some pretty cheap rats, especially if you get them on sale. But I found it cuts the cost a lot, especially if you do ASF rats. And I understand that some places ASF rats are illegal. I think Georgia, I had someone text me today that Puerto Rico is illegal. ASF rats are easier. The reason why I say that, they eat less food, they don't really smell, and you can put them in pretty small tubs. Now, you can do normal rats and not have your room stink. You can get a little filtration, carbon filter, and run it in there, as long as you don't go crazy with it. You get one rack. So say you have 20 snakes or so, or 10 snakes. You only need about one female per snake, and you won't have that smell problem because it'd be easy to take care of. Now, when you start getting like the 5, 6, 7 racks, the smell totally changes. You have to have a vented room. But I'm talking about when you're first starting out, you can save lots of money, especially if you're getting got the right morphs. And a lot of times, quantity is not as important as quality when it comes to your morphs, because, like I said, I'm always searching for the right ones to limit the snakes I need for my projects. And the same with it. You will need less rats if you have that. You know, you do that. Another thing that I found that works out really well for me is at least buying sub-adults and not babies. And I'm not saying you can, sometimes it's cheaper to buy babies, and it's, you know, it works out really well, but sub-adults or even adults. Now, the thing on adults is that I've sold adult females before, and people sell adult females, but you gotta be careful when you're buying them, because they could be just selling them because they got some kind of trouble. If it's like this snake is like, say, born in 2011 and it's about 1,200 grams, that means it has a feeding problem. And you know, people try to pass off their troubled snakes to people, so you gotta be careful. But there is also people that, you know, are reputable breeders that are actually upgrading their snakes to something else. I said this last week, I believe, that so I have a het pied and a het ultra male breeding with another het pied and a het ultra male, and say I breed them together and I hit all of them, so now I have a pied ultra male. I'm going to keep that one and hold it back, and I'm going to eventually get rid of, when it gets to breeding age, I'm going to start getting rid of my hets and keep the visuals. That's what most people do. So a lot of times you can pick up these snakes that people are getting rid of and help jumpstart your breeding hobby. Now, also, you saved all that money in rats and keeping up that animal, because you have the food, you have the bedding, you know. So it really does save money. Even like the sub-adults, getting them like, you know, 400, 500, 600 grams still saves you all that money. And I know that even sub-adults are not that big of a jump from the hatchlings, maybe $200 to $300, but you think about that, you're spending that much money in rats and taking care of them. So actually, you're saving a lot of money if you buy sub-adults. Sub-adults seem like to be the best area for money saving, but also largest can too, as long as you do it right. Just when you get adults, just be careful what you're doing. You got to know the person. Usually when I buy them, it's someone I know they're just getting rid of them and getting something new. The last point I could tell you is when you're first starting out, and I'm not saying when you're further along, but when you're first starting out, getting snakes at shows seems to be the best thing to do, because a lot of times these shows, people are selling these snakes at a discount price. Most people don't bring their best snakes to the show. I'll tell you that right now. They usually bring the snakes that they're going to get rid of, and they're not always their best ones. But especially if you're starting out, you can actually look at the snake and decide, you know, what morph. So this one works for me. If you usually don't sell the same day, the next day they'll actually give you a discounted price. You can offer them something, they'll take it, because most people don't want to take it back. Also, you're saving that shipping. So I think when you're first starting out, or like even if you're further along, picking up snakes at the shows is really a good idea, because you save that money from the shipping, and you save also the you usually get discounted. I know most people say discount anywhere from 50 to 100 bucks at the shows. I've seen that a lot, especially the second day. I mean, but if you see something that really works for your projects, you probably want to pick it up right away, because it's not going to be there when you get back a lot of times. But if you know that you go the next day and you're not really just kind of looking around and you see something, you can offer someone, like don't humiliate somebody. Let's say we take 25 bucks off of that, or can I give you, if it's 200 bucks, can I give you 175, or if it's 500 bucks, can I give you 450? Use some common sense. Don't go kind of lowball nobody. So $700 snake, and say I got 650. Will you take that? Most people will do that, and they'll say no or yes. And as long as you don't lowball somebody, don't be really rude. People do that. But anyways, that's another way of saving money. There is money to be had in this. I know right now it's kind of seems like a bad situation, but I believe in my heart that it'll get better. It'll turn around, and just don't lose heart, guys. Everybody hold out. Don't jump ship. It'll get better. I hope this motivates you. This will definitely help you save some money if you guys listen to it. It's things I've learned from making mistakes, and you can learn from my mistakes. It'll help you out. Anyways, guys, please check out some of these videos right here. Also, if you wouldn't mind, boom, crush that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. I will see you next time. Love you guys. Peace. Later.